Hello guys, and welcome to Simply Blessed Homestead. This is Sally. Get everything situated. And today is Sunday Conversations. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Sunday. And what Sunday Conversations is basically just a time where I sit down, tell you what things that what's happened during the week, and discuss whatever subject matter I have for the day. And the topic could be something that we're doing currently on our own homestead that works for us or makes life easier, or something that we're researching to incorporate on the homestead or even on the new homestead. It's a beautiful day here today. It's kind of warm, it's sunny. Oh Lord, that was Cat walking in front of the camera. Oh, I have a few rat chasers out here. But it's a really pretty day out here today. And I usually don't do much on Sundays, so I'm having a lazy day, even though I keep saying I need to rake these leaves up and get them in my garden. I think we're supposed to have more rain tomorrow, unfortunately. So I won't get much done outside. But updates for the week. We really haven't done, didn't do a lot of projects, but it was a productive week. We've had a water leak up at our meter, and we had the water company, the plumber and the water company came out this week and fixed that, so the water bill will go back down. We got that done, which is a huge plus. I have a den that we've converted into an office, and we did get that cleaned out. It had kind of become more storage. Got that cleaned out. This week, hopefully the husband, it will be in there framing that up, because we're going to frame it up and close it off. Because I need room to work in there. I craft. I make wreaths and homemade coasters. And the big thing that we do is we print t-shirts. And we're really wanting to grow the t-shirt aspect of it. And we're also getting ready to try to get into doing some drop shipping. And I may get into doing paparazzi. We're looking at ways to have multiple streams of income coming in on the homestead. So that's what we're working on in there. Getting that ready so I have more room to work. So that's been some big pluses this week. I did get a Lidl. I filmed that, but it didn't turn out good. And I didn't refilm it. This week, I just didn't refilm it. But anyway, so sorry. My husband was sick last week. He's feeling better this week, and I've got the cough. But I had a migraine Friday night up until earlier this morning, so I still kind of feel kind of bleh. But anyway, so that's pretty much for updates this week. Haven't had a lot going on. Hopefully this week will be better and busier. But topic for this week is why we have chosen to have two homesteads right now. And the backstory is we've decided probably a year and a half, 2 years ago to start homesteading. My husband had been looking more in the prepper part of it, and I wasn't on board. And then when I got into the homesteading part, he wasn't on board. Well, then we finally got to a point to where we both agreed on it and realized this is the route we want to go and the way we want to live. And at that time, we had decided that we definitely wanted to homestead somewhere else besides the property that we're on. But we were going to wait, because I have a 17-year-old in high school who did not want to move. So we said we would wait till he graduated and moved off to college, and then we would move. So we've stuck with that. He graduates in August of next year. So we decided that when we started it, so we started looking at other areas. We don't even want to homestead in the state that we live in. We lived in Colorado for 5 years, came back here. We're from here, and we hate it here. Just hate it. And so we started looking at other places. We've looked at Idaho. We've looked at Arizona. We did do some research about it in Colorado. But some places it's hard to homestead there. There's too many rules, too many regulations. And we've looked at North Carolina, but their land prices are a little high. And we've looked at Tennessee. We've looked at Kentucky. We even looked at the Ozarks. But Tennessee has always been on the back burner for me. I've wanted to move to Tennessee for quite a few years now. So we finally decided that, okay, we would start looking at Tennessee, because we decided that, well, why not get the land while we're still here and be able to work on that land while we're waiting for my son to graduate and get it ready, so that when we're ready to move, it's ready. So that's what we did back in April, May, I think, maybe into April. We went to Tennessee, we looked at some different properties through this company, and we purchased 5 acres of land, rent to own. Off-grid, it's an old hunting club, and it was rent to own. Didn't have to pay no deposit down, all we had to do was pay the closing on it. And then you make your monthly payments. So that's what we did. And our goal for that up there is to only have the land payment. And I'm hoping to pay that off early as well, but starting out, that's all we want. So then when we did this, my original plan was to, once that property was set up, and we're looking to move either at the end of next year or either in the spring of 2020. I'm okay with the end of next year. My husband kind of wants to wait to spring. Anyway, so the goal was that then we would sell this property. But then my husband did a 180 and was like, no, we're going to keep this property. And I'm like, why? And when he sat down and talked about it and explained it, he's right. And the main reason he wanted to keep the property is he's 60 years old. There's a big age difference. I'm 43, and I had to think for a moment. And he's 60. He's getting ready to do early retirement in 2 years. And I'll do a video on why he chose early retirement coming up as well, and explain that a little bit. But so he was like, he doesn't have a lot of health issues. I mean, he has some physical probably issues from working all his life and playing baseball in high school, and with his back and stuff. And cancer has been running in his family. He lost his mom, his dad, and 2 brother-in-laws to cancer as well, and an aunt and all. And he's a smoker. He has been told he's got COPD. He doesn't believe he does. He ain't quit smoking, but it doesn't bother him. I have asthma and I have more breathing issues than he does. But anyway, so he was like, if something were to happen to him, now he's got it set up with insurance that I have to cover his funeral expenses and to be able to live off of. But he was like, there might come a time if something were to happen to him that I had to choose between which property that I was going to keep, whether it's the one we're on now or the Tennessee property. Now, granted, the Tennessee property would be the one I'd want to choose. But I'd have to look at it really look at it optimistically and honestly. This property here, we live on 1.5 acres of land with a 4-bedroom double wide. I only owe 4 years on this property, and this property will be paid for. The Tennessee property, I've got quite a few years left to pay on the land. Now, when we got that property, we said we were looking at doing a shed housing, but we have to do 2 sheds, and we have to do the dog trot to make room for everybody, because there's me, there's my husband, my 22-year-old son, and my mom. And so that's what we have to do to accommodate. And it's still tinier than what we're living in now, which is kind of what I want. I want to downsize. But we were talking about renting to own 1 shed and then outright buying a shed. And if I do that, then the 1 shed would take me 3 years to pay off. Plus I still have my land payments. And then I still have this payment. But we're also looking at mobile homes now, whether we might want to try to put a single wide up there or a double wide. And it won't be a new one because I'm not going to finance one. It would be one we went and bought from a person and had moved there. One thing about the sheds is we wanted to do a 14 by 40s, and I have kind of met some of the neighbors through Facebook up there, and nobody's been able to get anything wider than a 12 wide down the driveway, the road, to get to our land. So we'd have to go with at least a 12 by 40, which is fine. 12 by 30, 12 by 40, I can live with that. But in the long run, I'm getting ready to sit down and really do comparison of, with the sheds, how much all that's going to cost me in the long run with everything I want to do to it in the mobile home. And when I do that, I'll probably do a video comparing the two, because I think it's a good thing. And I'm getting ready to start looking at that now, to compare the two options and decide which one we think is going to be the cheaper way to go. Because I don't want to get up there and have all these payments, because we have sit down and figured out how much money we know we can comfortably live on for that property. And I don't want to max that out. I don't want to have to up that amount. And that's based on a couple of different things. One of those would be my husband's retirement, and 2, money that we were saving, and 2, my disability. So we're looking at all that. But so the deal is, and he's right, this house here would be paid for in 4 years. Now, the only way, if we had the Tennessee property 100% set up, and I only had that land payment up there, then I would definitely have to choose that one. But and a lot of factors still would play into that. But back to this property. This property will be paid for in 4 years. Now, the deal, what we have recently just decided is that we're going to get the Tennessee property set up 100% the way we want it and get it done. Once that's done, we get moved up there, and we know for 100% sure we got everything the way we want it. Then, once this property is paid off in 4 years, then we will look at probably selling this property. I'm not going to keep it forever. It's a temporary thing right now where we're going to have the 2. But it's workable. We've got it down. We have paid off so much debt. We've gotten down. We did away with cable. We changed cell phone companies to make our cell phones go down to a lower price. When I did away with the cable, I went with business internet to lower that bill. The only thing we have right now financed besides the house, the land, is our car. And we are actually looking at outright buying a truck over the next few months, and then trying to get rid of the car and make that payment go away, so that we only have the insurance on the vehicle, and then trying to pick up a little small SUV outright. But a couple of the reasons why we chose it the way we've done it too is, one, internet would be one. My son creates video games, and he does streaming. That's something he's working and building on, because that's going to be his job, where he can work from home. He has health issues just like I do, and he has to have high-speed internet. We know we can get internet at the land once we're there. I don't know how good it's going to be, because of where we're located. And I don't want to do satellite internet, because I know that does suck. And plus, with the businesses, we need to have the internet. And also, I have my mom living with me. She's 74 years old, and she walks with a walker. So there's no way she can be up there walking around, staying in a tent, because we're going to be staying in a Latinac tent when we first get up there. We're putting up the Latinac. We're going to stay in that the 3 to 4 days a week we're there, and we're building walls around it. It's going to be a permanent structure on the property, because that's where the business stuff's going to go. But she can't be up there walking around in the woods with a walker, and also sleeping on a cot in a tent. That just ain't gonna work. She's had hip replacement. She's actually got a rod in her hip. So, and the other thing, so that's part of why. And one thing about it too, when I go back to, if something were to happen, I'd have to choose, is I don't work off the homestead. I did up until about 2 years ago, and I've been trying for the last 2 years to get my disability started. I have fibromyalgia, I have non-reversible muscular scoliosis, and I have rheumatism, plus high blood pressure. I deal with anxiety. I have a lot of pain with my hands and my legs. My ankles are weak, where I might be walking and just fall. But with that being said, I do what I can do. And I go to court in December, actually, for my disability hearing. So I'm hoping that once we do that, they'll give them, they usually do after you go to court. So I'm really praying that that's what'll happen. But so that's why with like even the home-based businesses, it's really slow going, because I do when I can, and I don't feel good every day, but I do what I can do. And that's what I like about that, because some of the stuff like the crafting and the t-shirts, I can do it when I feel like doing it. That's why we want to do our own stuff. And drop shipping's good because I don't have to touch it. Somebody else does it. But anyway, so that's kind of the reasons why we've got the two different homesteads going on right now. But like I said, once the Tennessee property is officially set up, then we're probably going to look at selling this property. And then I'll have the money from this property to live off of as well, and to invest into the other property. We really haven't done a lot with this property homesteading wise. I mean, we're in the process of practicing skills. I'm trying to come up with other ways for lighting, like battery powered lights and lanterns, so that we're not using all the power. The central heating and air is out, so we're looking at alternate heating for this year, whether it's going to be some small electric heaters, or we're even looking at possibly putting a wood stove in as well. And I'm sorry guys, it keeps going in, the lighting keeps going in and out because I'm sitting in the shade, but it's kind of, I got a cloud over me a little bit. So we're looking at a couple of those things, but here in the South, it's not really that bad. We have a couple little bitty heaters that we've been using if we need them, and it's not that bad. I mean, we've been in the 60s all week. We did have some frost on the car window when my husband went to work this morning, but other than that, it has not been that cold here. But the only thing we've utilized any of the land here for really is for my garden, which is not as big as I like it to be, and for chickens. And we don't have a big flock of chickens. Our goal for the spring, we were supposed to be doing it this year, but between the first year I was taking care of my aunt who passed away, then my mom's cancer and her treatments and her surgery and hospital and rehab, a lot of stuff didn't happen. But we are setting this property up as well because I think it'd be a great selling feature to some people. And also, if something were to happen and I did have to choose this place over the other one, I would have stuff set up here. So we are looking at putting in an orchard. We have about half an acre on the other side of our fence that's wooded. We're going to be looking at clearing that out and putting an orchard back there. And we are going to be adding a couple of goats in the spring and a feeder pig for right now. I'm going to do a breeder pig, pigs to breed, but I think I'm going to wait till Tennessee for that. We are going to get a pig to raise for meat though here. And we're going to add to our chicken flock for egg layers, and I'm wanting to get a Pacific breed of chicken, probably the Copper Marins, I think is what I'm looking at, that I can sell the hatching eggs and also sell baby chickens to make some more money on the homestead. And we are wanting to get into meat chickens this summer when spring comes and process those, and we're wanting to add some rabbits back on the homestead and get 2 different breeds of meat rabbits. So we're working on that. I have this big fish flower bed here. It's literally in the shape of a fish with bricks. It was here when we bought the place. We're going to clear that out and work on that and get the dirt and soil ready there as well. And half of that bed is going to be strawberries in the spring, and then I'm going to do some different herbs on the other ends of that. So, but that's kind of what we got going on with the 2 different homesteads. Plus the one in Tennessee is 5 acres. It gives us more room to do what we want to do. Plus we're off-grid, which is what we really want to be. So come spring, we'll be spending 3 or 4 days up there working on that a week. And like I said, once we get it set up, we are putting some, also putting some more work into this place, getting ready to start painting and redoing some flooring and stuff to update it a little bit more. We did this a couple years ago, and with mobile homes you have to do that anyway, so we're doing that as well. That way it's either in good condition for me to stay in it if something were to happen, or to sell it. in 4 years. So we're really working on that stuff, and that's kind of where we're at. Right now we're keeping it, getting Tennessee property set up, and then hopefully once that's set up, we'll definitely look at selling it once it's paid for. So that's it. So that's why. If you have any questions about any of that and why the two and all this stuff, feel free to comment down below, and I'll be glad to answer them. I know we're doing this a little backwards. Most people sell off the property and then go, but it just wasn't feasible for us to do that. And plus, my husband does still work off the homestead, and like I said, he's got 2 more years, and he's going to try to hang out where he's at for 2 more years at his job. So it makes more sense for us just to do it the way we're doing it, and it's working for us. It really is. It's really working for us. So which is shocking, but it's working. We're actually going up to the land in a couple of weeks. We're going to Gatlinburg, and I'll probably do some filming while we're there. We're going to Gatlinburg on family vacation. Well, I don't know if the kids are going. They hadn't decided. I know my oldest isn't. I don't know about my other one, but it may just be me and the hubs. But we're going to ride up to the land if it doesn't snow, because if it snows, my car won't make it down in there. But we're trying to go by the land while we're up that way. So I'll try to do some filming when we go. So that's it. And as for upcoming projects this week, I'm hoping to get some canning in this week, because I've got some pintos that I want to can, and I have never pressure canned. I've done water bath canning, so I really want to start out with doing the pintos. And if I do, I will film, kind of show you how that goes. I'm probably going to do a video later in the week about home remedies for cold season coming up, because we just had to deal with that, and this worked for us, so I'm kind of going to do a video about that. We're going to be working in the garden area. I've got just a bed, and then I've got the pool. We're going to clear all this stuff out and get it cut down where it needs to be. I got okra out there I've got to get the seeds out of, and get all that pulled out. And then I've got a bunch of leaves I'm going to rake up and put in the garden area, so that it can start preparing the soil for the spring. So we're going to work on that this week. Husband did get the ramp from my mom put in. I'm actually sitting on it right now. He's got to finish leveling up the boards and bringing the rails down. We've got to build a chicken run. We moved the chickens, so we've got to get out there and build their run to give them more room. So that's probably some projects, and we still got to put the clothesline in because the dryer went out, and we're going to put the clothesline up outside. I've got a swing set frame that I rigged with a couple of lines, but we're going to put in an actual clothesline. So that is just some of the stuff that we have going on this week, and of course trying to frame up that office. And hopefully I'll get a couple of videos in as well. So, but that is it. I hope you enjoy your Sunday, and I will see you on the next one.